evening. As I introduce the next person to come up here, I'd also like to thank all of the members of the organization that he represents. They did a fantastic job tonight, as they always do, preparing the food, and they're a really important part of promoting Africa on campus. The African Student Union puts together events throughout the year so that we can promote Africa on campus and events like this one, so thank you. Mr. Fletcher Zawoya is a great person to be leading the organization. He's been in Athens now for 4 years. He is a PhD student in the School of Communication Studies, and he is also a proud Pan-African, hailing from Malawi, wearing clothing from northern Nigeria, and presenting at a program on Sudan. So I'd like to welcome Fletcher Zawoya.
Thank you, Acacia, for the kind introduction. You know, the best thing about being a speaker towards the end of the program is that you just get to summarize what others have been saying, and you get to speak the shortest. I really cannot say enough how great it is for I personally, and the ASU in general, to be part of this historic event tonight. We have a saying where I come from that if a child washes his hands, he can sit down and dine with the elders. And I think that is what I personally and ASU are doing tonight. Just as ASU saw it fit to posthumously recognize Mahmoud Muhammad Taha as our African hero in 2001 for his work in Africa, today ASU is proud to be part of this celebration of his life and his work in Africa. And let me just take this opportunity also to inform you that in 2 weeks' time we are going to be honoring our very own Dr. Steve Howard as our African hero. I would like to thank the organizers of this function for inviting us. ASU members, as you already have heard, they have been very helpful in preparing the food that we just had, and I'm sure it was delicious, that you liked it. And I would like to personally commend them and all those who worked hard for this function to be such a success. ASU is also putting up a poster presentation in the lobby on Africa, and this is part of a series that is organized to portray the positive side of Africa that you don't quite often hear in the media. What we hear in the media are just reports of fighting, hunger, corruption, and instability, as if those things do not happen here or anywhere else in the world. Recently, Ghana held very peaceful presidential elections, but we don't quite get to hear those kind of stories in the media. So ASU is trying to draw the world's attention to the good things that are taking place on the continent. And we are calling this initiative the Africa You Should Know. So please take time to visit our table and talk to our members so that you can get more information and hear the good stories that come from the continent. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here tonight to honor and celebrate the life of Mahmoud Muhammad Taha, who was a great father, teacher, and leader of the people, not only in Sudan, but in the whole world as well. His teachings, courage, and sacrifice will continue to guide the conscience of every committed leader in the world, not only in the religious circle, but in politics as well. He showed leadership on matters of faith, politics, and human rights. He believed in the unity of our peoples. We have all seen the documentary about his life. Books have been written on his religious and political contributions in Sudan, and we have heard how he stood alone, even in the face of death, for what he believed in. History books are full of his contributions to Islam and to politics in Africa and in the whole world in the past 100 years. I will not attempt to repeat what has been said here. What I'm going to focus on tonight is what I think is the greatest lesson that the present generation and future generations should learn from the life of Muhammad Taha. And that lesson is the need for courage to change the things that we think should be changed for the better, even if that means risking our very life. Courage has been described as grace under pressure, and that was what was demonstrated by Muhammad Taha even on the day that he died in the hands of the Sudanese government. Documented reports indicate that as he died, he was quite at peace with himself and even his accusers. When we study the lives of people such as Muhammad Taha, that is when we get to understand the complexity of courage. That is when we get to appreciate its power. But why should we bother to study history and learn about people such as Muhammad Taha? I personally believe that time has come in Africa and in the whole world for us to begin to appreciate true leadership. As Caroline Kennedy said of JFK, we need to recognize leadership. We need to respect it. And we need to require it of our leaders. Mahmoud Muhammad Taha showed leadership that must be recognized and emulated by one and all. He gave his life for the cause that he believed in. He gave his life for human freedom, unity, and general well-being of his people. Today, there are zillions of local and global challenges, from the killing in Darfur, oppression in Zimbabwe, instability in the Congo, and strife in the Middle East, that demand genuine and courageous leadership to say that enough is enough. We must move on as free, united, and progressive people. But maybe those examples are beyond some of the people present here. But are we not leaders in our own right, in our classrooms and schools, in our homes and in our local towns? How so easy it is to side with the masses, to choose the easy way out, to hide when the going gets tough, and to support the status quo, even when that goes against our own conscience. We can pull a leaf from the book of our great teacher and leader, Muhammad Taha, and be the change that we want to be in the world. It is time we turned all the grand theories we have been accumulating as intellectuals into practice to change our world for the better. Muhammad Taha was a practical man. True and courageous leadership does not come by accident. We must make a choice to stand up for our ideas, the rights of our people, and the betterment of all. We cannot run away from this calling, and we cannot postpone it. So allow me tonight to appeal to my youthful friends, one and all, to choose to make a difference in our societies. Someone said we are products of our choices. So let us choose to be the change that we want in the world. Jail time and threats of death did not stop Muhammad Taha from preaching what he believed to be true. This world needs a lot of Muhammad Tahas if peace and prosperity is going to prevail. One Andrew Jackson said, "One man with courage makes a majority." It is my hope that today an army of young men and women in Sudan and in the whole world is going to rise and be willing to give up their lives for the truth, for human freedom and unity of the human race. Otherwise, Mahmoud Muhammad Taha died in vain. I thank you for your attention.